Live or okay, there you go.
Welcome to the Ohio Ram Show.
Hi, this is Jim Lawyer, and you're watching the live Ohio Ram Show, the show about ultracycling and all things ultra. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing well today, and we're glad to have you. I made a little mistook here with our guest today, but we got it straightened out.
Gotcha.
And we want to say that we're always happy to tell you that this show comes about because of all the wonderful people who operate the Ohio Race, the Race Across America time stations in Ohio. Let me get that correct. 41 in Oxford, 42 in Blanchester, 43 in Chillicothe. Jim's layout there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just happy to have everybody here. We see some people with us already.
Definitely.
And our guest is with us. She's backstage.
Yep. All those people out there that are watching, let us know where you're from and just say hey. And when you do that, if you don't have a question or comment, just go ahead and say where you're from and you're watching. And you'll be registered for the drawing at the end of the show.
Yeah, we always like to hear where people are from. So if you don't have anything else to say that. And that puts you in the hopper for a drawing today.
Definitely.
We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Gotcha. You want me to go ahead and do the RAM update that we're going to start doing?
Let's do the RAM update, and get to the news.
All right. We're going to start doing a little RAM update every episode, showing how many people have entered into RAM 2022. So right now we've got 3 in the 2-person, 7 in the 4-person, 4 in the 8-person, and 28 in the solo. Awesome. And
wow.
18 different countries. So that'll be great if we get all those people here plus some more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well,
so go ahead, Lee.
Well, I was just going to say, we want to make sure you people watching, if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to hit that follow thing up there at the top. Stay in touch with us so we can keep in touch with you. We always enjoy that, and you'll get the updates. And anytime you see us on there, a program scheduled, you can always click that link and hit that reminder button. Both YouTube and Facebook have reminders, and they'll alert you when the show's coming up, Jim.
Definitely. And we're glad to be back for this new season. From our hiatus. So we're a little rusty, but we'll get it back together.
Yeah, well, I think my rust is permanent now.
Yeah.
WD-40 isn't working very well anymore. I
There
do
you
want
go.
us to say that we haven't mentioned this for a while, Jim,
Mm-hmm.
that our official charity is World Bicycle Relief.
Gotcha, definitely.
And we'll talk more about that sometime in the future. We don't say a lot about it, but on our website, ohioramshow.com, you'll find more about World Bicycle Relief. Thank you for those of you who are tuning in with us. Hey, let's get right to our guest here.
Okay, that's cool.
Christina.
Hey, Christina.
How are you?
Hi, Lee. Hi, Jim. Very good, thank you.
Hey, I apologize, Christina. I must have, when I was doing some editing, copied another link.
That's
And
okay.
sent you the
Wait
wrong-
patiently.
Yeah, well, it's been a comedy of errors getting you here. You had a little interruption into your life, and
Yeah. But
let's just say so
me.
people aren't concerned. No, everybody's healthy. Nobody was sick. Nobody was injured. It was just some crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
And thank you, Greg Zuber, the voice of Ohio Ram Show. We're always glad to see you here.
There you go. And Team Skydog is out there. Both of them from Denmark.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, all those people out there, come on, tell us where you're from. Just
That's
say,
right.
I'm from Missoula, Montana, or wherever you happen to be.
Exactly. And if you have any questions for us or Christina, post them out there and we'll do our best to answer them. If
Yeah.
we don't know, we'll try to figure out something to tell you.
For those who don't know, Christina, tell us what LEJOG is all about, or LEJOG, or however you pronounce it.
LEJOG, so it's Land's End John O'Groats. That's where the LEJOG comes from. So obviously it's a cycling show, so we know that it's something to do with cycling. So there's a record that's been established many years ago from Land's End to John O'Groats, covering 839 miles. That's over 10,000 meters of elevation. So it's the record stood with Lynn Taylor for 19 years. So she had the current record, or that record at the time was 52 hours, 45 minutes. I had an attempt at it on July the 28th, and happy to say that it was a successful attempt with a new record time of 51 hours, 5 minutes and 27 seconds.
Now, you came kind of close in 2019?
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
Christina? And we were trying to get that worked out then, and everything kind of, well, in the internet, things don't always work out right. And we learned to understand that a little bit. Jim.
Yes. How long have you been cycling, Christina? Just for curiosity's sake, for all those out there.
I would be kind of generous by saying that I sort of came to cycling later in life, probably since I got my first road bike in 2012. And that was really just sort of to take up triathlon, to do charity cycles. But then it wasn't until I moved to Stirling in 2016 that I really focused on the single discipline of just the cycling. And then the long endurance events there. So probably really just 4 or 5 years kind of.
Gotcha. Outstanding. And I think you also like time trialing?
I do. So
excellent.
Also, I like to think that LEJOG is a long endurance time trial.
Yeah.
Outstanding, definitely. What do you enjoy most about being on the bike?
I think what I've really just sort of come to appreciate is the countryside, especially here in Scotland, where I am based in Stirling, and from where I'm from originally in the Outer Hebrides in the northwest of Scotland. There's just a vast countryside. You can see, it's things that you wouldn't explore, things that you wouldn't see when you're in the car, if you're driving or a passenger. You can get out to all avenues there, for if you want flats, if you want hills, and it takes you just to places that you would never even dream about. So just getting out on your bike, if you know that you're going to be out there for a few hours, basically taking lots of food with you. So I mean, it's cycling and eating. So two of my favorite hobbies. So it's like win-win.
There you go. Outstanding. Let's get back to your record. Did you have any surprises, or how did you prepare to do this?
I think, like you'd mentioned there about the first attempt in 2019, that really sort of stood me well in the fact that I knew the route, I knew what to experience, I knew the times that was going to be hard, special parts there that was going to be a tough times. So that kind of gave me the kind of logistical kind of knowing the challenges it was going to be for that. But then obviously having that extra time to concentrate on more specific training, putting more building resistance and fatigue to my body, putting stress on my body and recovering, so that my body, although I wouldn't do that length of time in training, that
Right.
my body could cope with like back-to-back sessions and recover. Like nothing can prepare you for cycling for 2 days and without sleep.
How long did you get to sleep, or did you?
I
On this
didn't
attempt?
know. No, I
Okay.
didn't get to sleep.
Gotcha.
But that was a conscious decision. I
Right.
had planned initially to have scheduled 20 minutes sleep about halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
But then once we got to that point there, I thought, you know what, it was at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't feel tired. I didn't want to sleep. I'd created quite a good buffering at that point. So I thought, I want to just sort of keep that momentum going. So came into the team, we had a quick chat, and we were all happy that, basically just instead of spending that hour having a sleep, resting, changing and eating, I would skip the sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in and out within 25 minutes. So that gave us an extra 35 minutes ahead of schedule. But at the same time, it was going into the unknown, not knowing how your body would react after 30 hours, 35 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But, the peace of mind that I had was that I had a great team behind me, that they would keep an eye on me. They would see if I was any sign of fatigue, that they would just pull me in. And we had agreed that if I was showing any signs there, that they would just like pull me in and we could sleep at any point.
Mm-hmm. Did you do any special diet, or did you do just all liquid on this ride, or for all those out there that are watching?
Yeah, it was a complete combination. The products that I kind of really focus on was Mountain Fuel, which was a range that in the UK that I've been working on. It's really good that it's kind of all natural products.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of the energy drinks, feel-good bars, and gels. So between the combination of these three, and then just good old-fashioned wraps with cheese and ham.
Gotcha. Excellent.
So, and then at times I would, the times that we're kind of having these dark moments, the team would throw me a bit of millionaire shortcake, and that really just kind of perked me up.
Awesome. I got one more question. How long did it take you to recover after this ride?
Well, I finished on the Saturday, or the Friday, sorry. I was back just in a cafe ride on the following Tuesday.
Wow.
Which my legs were okay, but maybe just a wee bit uncomfortable on the saddle.
Gotcha.
So it took a couple of weeks there just to kind of, the whole body and the immune system to repair. But fortunately, I didn't have any aches, actual injuries, or it was just more kind of fatigue and just soreness.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like gentle, kind of getting back into things again. So I was quite fortunate in that way.
Oh, great job. Lee, do you have any questions?
Yeah. What about your road surfaces where you're all paved?
I should really, I'd love to say that, in Scotland, the road surfaces are fantastic. They're really smooth to tarmac, but I would be lying, and everyone in Scotland would know that wouldn't be the case. When I was in England, it was really good. It was really nice surfaces generally. But then when you come up to Scotland, there's a few sections, but predominantly it was kind of like broken cement. And by the time I'd got to John O'Groats, you could actually feel every vibration. I actually sort of got swollen tendons on my wrist through the vibration, just that constant over that length of time. Because, obviously with the skinny tires and you could feel everything, there's no kind of comfort or buffering whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. How was the weather during the ride?
We were quite fortunate, to be honest, because, you can't plan. And the thing was that we had a 2-week weather window of opportunity, but it was kind of mainly sort of on the wind. So you're never going to get 2 perfect days, especially if you're going from England to Scotland. Mm-hmm. So the first 6 hours, fantastic. Great tailwind, dry, warm, nice, loving it, enjoying it. Couldn't be happier. And then probably about 6 hours into it, the first kind of tropical rainstorm came, but it was just really heavy. But then you could see blue skies ahead, so you knew it was just going to be a short one, and then you were dry quickly. And then obviously once you hit Scotland, that's when, the extremes happen. It's going to be, or it was, headwinds. The temperature was fine, actually. It wasn't too cold. A bit of rain, but to be honest, it was pretty fortunate. It could have been a lot worse.
Scotland can be cool, can it? For us people who live in the more temperate climates.
It can, but I think, when you're used to training in Scotland and coming from the Outer Hebrides, you kind of prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I think that's what we got, really.
I did looking at your map, and I didn't get too specific. Did you kind of skirt around the Lake District to avoid it, or did you go through the Lake District?
There's kind of a bit of both, really, but that's kind of the most recognised schedule. That's the best way in the fact of sort of the traffic-wise and distance and road surfaces. So we came up through the Lake Districts, up through Shap and Penrith. So you might have heard of Shap. That's probably the first kind of main big climb. It's about 8 miles of sort of climbing all the way up to Penrith.
Very good.
Normally, and people would sort of cycle along there and kind of appreciate the countryside and take it in. But I remember just getting to the top, and at that point, it was
you want to get there.
Yeah.
Well, talk about your crew. Tell me about them. If you want to say a shout out about them, that would be great as well.
Yeah. So the main core of the team is 4 of my friends from Stirling Bike Club. So it's Lynn, Dougie, Norrie, and Gary. So they've been with me for many times the 12 and the 24 hours. They've supported me from that. And then we've also got my brother, who lives up in the Outer Hebrides. So we kind of roped him in as well. He was with us on the last attempt, which he's not from a cycling background, but he gelled in well. And, he was basically the driver, the man with the van that sat behind me for the whole length of time, along with the mechanic. So he kind of got a fast track into cycling and long distance and endurance events. So then we've got the other team, which Lynn and Gary, they were in another vehicle as well. And then we had a camper van that Dougie was in, and Alistair. So it actually worked out really well because we had a convoy. So we had the camper van that it was basically had all the facilities that I could use to get changed and if I needed to go there. And Lynn would prepare the wraps from there as well. And then Lynn and Gary, they would be giving up hand-ups every hour. So everyone had a crucial part to play, not even just on the actual attempt, but the lead up to it as well. Because obviously you can imagine sort of an attempt of that nature, there's so much logistics, organising hotels in Gloucester and then in Land's End when we start, and then in John O'Groats when we finish as well. And then also organising officials. So we had 4 officials from the Road Wreckers Association as well. So they were along with us as well, observing and doing all the timekeeping along there as well. So it's a lot of planning, but it's great to have the guys round because at the same time, we're friends first of all, and then we're a support team. So I think that's what really works because, I trust them 100%. And I know that anything happens, so that they've got my back. And, if there was any safety compromises there, that they would just pull the plug right away.
Okay, we do want to interrupt here to say anybody who's checked in since we started, be sure to tell us where you're from. If you're a visitor, put your location in the comments there, and you get thrown in a drawing we're going to have at the end of the show. You might win a little something. Now, after saying that, I had a question in my mind, and it slipped. You see these gray hairs. That's brain cells gradually dying. Yeah. Well, you have to face facts, Jim.
I know. I'm doing the same thing, so trust me.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for any big things coming up in the near future or even in the future?
Yeah, I think because once you sort of achieve something like this, you kind of get restless feet, and you're kind of thinking, well, what's next? Because you've prepared for something like that for so long, and it's become part of your life. So now that you've come off that, it's kind of like, right, what next? So yeah, we've got a couple of things there that obviously with the support of the same team, that we would like to look at. So we've got a couple, and obviously in lines with my coach as well, that we're discussing over the next few weeks to put into plan for 2022. But along the same kind of lines.
Gotcha.
Hey, glad to see someone from Scotland finally show up there from the Western Isles.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, Catherine.
Been out to Mull once, Catherine. I don't know if that's anywhere near where you're located, but it's great country over there. Yeah. Well, yeah, I remembered what I was going to ask. Who is your authenticating organization?
So there's two. There's the Road Records Association, and it's a Guinness World Records. Mm-hmm. So I've submitted all the paperwork to Guinness World Records. So their whole process, I think it's up to 12 weeks that it takes for them to process it. So as you can imagine, there's quite a lot of evidence that we've needed to submit. So one of our guys in the team there is obviously taking a lot of time to put the application together. So hopefully we should hear about that in the next few weeks. And then the Road Records Association as well. So we had their timekeepers and observers with us along the trip. And then throughout the length of the country, there was 70 observers that they were out. So then they obviously have to submit their paperwork to the secretary. So we're still waiting to hear back from that. But at the same time, the observers and timekeepers on the event there, they were happy enough that it was an official 51 hours, 5 minutes, 27 seconds.
Excellent, excellent. Did you learn anything from this attempt that you're going to carry forward that you need to change or do different?
Well, probably when I finished was not to do anything like it again. But that didn't last too long. Yeah, I think there's a few things I could probably tweak again. This time I think the fuel or the nutrition went really well. Clothing went well. But, I think it's something that we'll all sit down really together and we'll sort of have a kind of proper debriefing and go over things like that. But, for an event or an attempt like that over 2 days, there's so many things that you can sort of look at and think, oh, well, we could maybe do this or do that.
Hey, Larry, we're talking about LEJOG. It was her record attempt that she created a new world record on. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
Yeah, Land's End to John O'Groats.
Yes.
I'm up through my mother's territory there in the southern part of Scotland. Yeah. And so I have an affinity for that. I've driven by Stirling, but I've never been there. I guess I should take a little detour and see, isn't there a rather famous monument to...
That's right. Yep, the Wallace Monument. I can actually see it once every time I go out on the bike. I've got the view of Stirling Castle and the Wallace
It's very
Monument.
tall, isn't it not?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Soren wanted to know, have you ever participated in RAM? And I'm probably guessing, do you want to?
Well, I think, it's every endurance cyclist's kind of ambition stroke dream to do that. But, realistically, it comes down to sort of time and funds and opportunities. At the end of the day, I'm just what you would class as a club cyclist that works full time. So to have these kind of funds and time off there, it's probably out with my reach at the moment. But it's something I watch every year, and with great admiration for everyone. And you look at it and go, wow, I could do that. I could do that. It's easy to say that when you're at home.
There you go. Speaking of such, do you have any sponsors you want to give a shout out for that helped you during your world record attempt?
Yeah, we do. So we've had the main ones here was Mackay's. They're an engineering company from the Isle of Lewis. They're a family company that were really helpful for us. And And we've also got Williamson's, which they're a Highland company that are based in Inverness, another family company that actually my mum worked with them for 20 odd years. So it was really nice to get them on board as well. So they were our two main sponsors, which you obviously couldn't do it without their help. We also have Leslie Bike Shop, Mountain Fuel, and there's coaching with Espresso as well that were all really beneficial for it. Pack to Mo, which I'm sure that you're familiar with and aware of. On the RAM scene, they were really good and they provided me with all the kit.
Hey, while we've got a fair group of people there, let's be sure that you make a comment either on Facebook or YouTube, so you get your name in the hopper for a little drawing here we're going to have in a few minutes. And if you don't know what else to say, just tell us where you're from. So we'd like to have all you people out there, just take a moment, just type in where you're from, and we think we might make it worth your while here in a minute or two, Jim.
Definitely. And my last question, did you do this for a charity or anything like that?
I did it for Alzheimer's Scotland, and it was a charity that my mum was diagnosed with vascular dementia in 2014. And they were a fantastic organisation and really great support to us. And to be honest, I mean, completely overwhelmed with the donations that we've got from it. That we've closed the page now, it's a Just Giving page, and we've raised £13,500.
Awesome.
For them. So, you know, I've even got goosebumps even thinking about that. The fact that people have just been so generous. Plus, it was also a really good incentive and motivation when the team were telling me at that point, you know, that maybe the target was up at 7,000, 7,500, knowing that people were donating as I was doing it. So, I mean, I couldn't stop halfway. I couldn't stop nearly there. You know, that was just that added bonus. It was really great just to see that money coming in, and you know, hopefully that we can give it back to them. It's really good.
Definitely. Hey, Kenny, thanks for watching, and also Martin Moore.
Okay, very glad.
Some Scottish friends up there.
Great. Listen, still, Jim, I think there's some people out there watching that haven't checked in with us.
I totally agree with you. They need to check in here shortly if they want to be.
You want to be in this drawing? Get your name in there. We're going to do this pretty soon here.
Yes.
I think we should give a big shout out there to Catherine MacLeod that popped up there. She's one of my school friends from the Isle of Lewis back 30 odd years ago. That we're still best of friends. There she is.
Yes, definitely.
Give her a big shout out.
Awesome.
Very good.
For anybody that would aspire to do this, do you have any comments or suggestions for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, I'm a great believer in anything is possible. You know, like I've mentioned before, that I came sort of to cycling later in life. But I think, you know, if you've got the right sort of mindset, the right commitment to it, because I mean, it's nothing, you can't take it lightly. You can't just sort of rock up and think, you know, you can do this, because there's just so many challenges physically and mentally.
Yes.
I think, you know, with the right team behind you, with the right support, with the right coaching, and with the dedication and commitment, that you can do it, but also at the same time enjoy it. You know, because, you know, there's times there that I've gone, you know, like 200-mile back to back, like 3 days of doing that, where I've probably not seen anyone, and it's just been, you know, I'm kind of questioning my own sanity. So I've kind of given up that kind of, but then knowing that it's going to be worth it. And then once we got to John O'Groats, knowing all that hard work was paid off. And then myself and the support team, and like we stayed up for another 12 hours celebrating. So
outstanding.
You know, having that kind of that commitment, but at the same time enjoying it as well. Yeah.
You mentioned coach during that. Do you have a coach you want to thank or anything like that?
I do, yeah. It's Gary Han from Espresso Coaching, Espresso Cycling Coaching, which he literally approached me probably about 3 weeks after my first attempt, asked me to meet him for a coffee, just that he was interested and we would, you know, wanted to hear about my experience, have a chat about it. And I literally came away from that meeting semi-agreeing to doing it again with the support of the same support team.
Outstanding.
But yeah, it didn't take too much convincing.
Gotcha. Lee, any other questions for Christina?
No, I just want to thank Christina for being here and for putting up with us in a sense because of our missteps, my missteps, I should say. But Jim, I think we ought to get on with this drawing here.
Okay, I'll get things arranged.
And if there's anybody out there that hasn't put in a comment yet, please do so right now.
Definitely.
All you have to do is just say, hey, hello, but tell us where you're from. That's what we really like to hear about.
Definitely.
And you'll get put in the hopper. If you do it really, really quick, you'll still get in there, Jim.
Definitely. It's worth it. Tonight or today, we are drawing for a 1-year membership in the $10 Bike Club. It's an online social media platform built by cyclists for cyclists. So it's a very good thing, and you learn a lot. We've got a lot of great people out there, a lot of great athletes, experienced and beginners. So it's a great place to be.
No ads, no click-throughs.
That's correct.
No sharing of your
information.
Not going to come in and say, would you like to buy who knows what?
Definitely.
Just, and that's why we charge a little bit of money for it, just to sustain it.
Yep.
And I think it's a great idea.
Definitely.
Okay, Jim. I think we've given everybody as much chance as we can.
All right.
Let's give her a whirl, see who's going to win this.
We're going to draw now.
And it always surprises you. You think you've won, and then all of a sudden you haven't.
It fools you.
Yeah, it fools you. Sure does.
Who will it be?
No.
There you go. Martin Moore. Outstanding. Let me get that up there. And should remove that. But basically, sorry about that. I forgot to turn off the... Can you get that, Lee?
Yeah.
Basically, you need to send your information to winner@ohioramshow.live. That's winner@ohioramshow.live. And we'll get your information off to our $10 Bike Club people, and they will contact you with your membership information.
Yeah, join us in there. And congratulations, Martin. Where was Martin from?
I think he's over that way, if I remember.
He's
Ayrshire.
Ayrshire, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and if you see from his profile picture, he's a Land's End to John O'Groats cyclist as well.
Very good. Very good. And I can't help but say that, we had an Ayrshire cow at one time. I don't know how that happened because we generally had Guernseys, but somehow we wound up with an Ayrshire.
There you go.
Okay.
Great talking to you, Christina. I'm glad to have met you, and congratulations on your record.
Now, while we're here, Jim, next, this coming Sunday because we were late, it'll be at 7:00 British summertime, 2:00 here in the Eastern Time, United States. We're going to have a very, very special lady you don't want to miss, Eddie Brocklesby. She's, how should I say it, mature, and a real hoot to talk to. Great in endurance sports. Nothing. They say you couldn't stop Christina. You can't stop Eddie. Let me just say, the last time I talked to her, she was at the top of Wolf Creek Pass. It was pouring down rain. It was cold. It was freezing. And she was having the time of her life. And she hopes to be a part of a team. I get...
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it.
But what a delightful lady. You will love her. We'll get that link up on Facebook and YouTube tomorrow.
Yes.
So you can click there and say, set a reminder, because Edie Brocklesby, she's written a book. So, at any rate.
Hey, Soren, I want to give you a shout out real quick. I'm working on a couple of things. I don't know if we'll be broadcasting live, but we may have some special reports from Borrego in 22 days. So we'll keep an eye out, and we'll let you know.
Borrego Springs, the World Time Trial Championships.
Yes.
I haven't looked at the roster. Have we got many people coming from outside the United States, Jim?
Last time I looked, it didn't look that way. I'm hoping that more will join in, but because of the ongoing COVID problems and issues, I highly doubt it.
It's such a crazy situation.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have found they can come and quarantine in Mexico.
Yep.
And it makes no sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
But it's a crazy time. So anyhow, Sunday afternoon here in the United States, evening, Edie Brocklesby, let's be sure to drop in and talk with her. I'm sure you'll not want to miss that. Christina, thanks.
Yes. Thank you
for
so
being
much.
with us.
Thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
From one half Scot to a full Scot.
Much
Blessings on you.
Yes.
Stay in touch, will you?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers,
Thanks
guys.
a lot. Let's see
Bye.
if we can get Greg back here to say goodbye to us.
All right. Outstanding.